Welcome. This video tutorial is going to show you how to create a test at the Pearson SuccessNet website. After logging in to Pearson SuccessNet, you will see an option in your account to build a new test. For this particular example, I am going to build a test that will give me a better idea of what it is my students know about determining elapsed time using analog and digital clocks. We're currently going to be moving into that particular learning objective, and so I want to give a pre-assessment. So I'm going to give this test name 4th grade, chapter 4, and I'm going to put 1 and 3, meaning lessons 4.1 and 4.3. I can give it a clear description here, and I'm going to just go ahead and put elapsed time, analog and digital clocks, 4.1 and 4.3. Unfortunately, up here in the test name, I cannot use periods or dashes, so it does make it a little difficult in identifying the particular lesson, so you just need to be careful with that. So a lot of times I'll clearly state that right down here in the description. Where do we want to get these test items? We would like to get these from grade 4, 2004-2008 skills. This is a better option, more specific to our curriculum than the 2004 Montana State Standards. So let's go ahead and choose that. For this particular example, we're going to let the system choose the questions. And we'll click on Next. We're doing math, grade 4, and then I will check on chapter 4 because that is where I'm getting the test questions from. However, keep in mind you can create an assessment that covers more than one chapter's content. Click on Next, and specifically I want 4.1 and 4.3. Click on Next. Now, there are 3 items available for telling time and 4 for elapsed time. I want 3 for telling time, and I would like just 3 for elapsed time. Click on Finish and Preview. And here you will see an online version, or we can click here and we can actually just get a PDF version of this test to print and give offline. Okay? Now, let's say this test is exactly as I want it. I go ahead and click on Assign. And currently I'm in Berg 0910, 4th grade class. I can check mark right here and it will select all my students. Or I could have specifically put check marks next to the students that I want to take this test. Click on Save. Okay. Once you've completed the test, I want to show you how to go ahead and have students access that test. So I'm going to take on the role of student 1. The student would log in with his or her particular username and password. Under your next assignment, you can see that chapter 4, 1 and 3 is here, and I click on Start Assignment. And then the student will be able to answer the questions. What time is showing on this clock? And here you can see they have 4 choices. We'll choose 23 minutes past 8. And I'm just going to go ahead and, for time's sake, select an answer. On Done. You can see that I scored 2 out of 6, 33%. You would be able to see which particular questions the student missed, and I can click on that question and the student can see what the question was. Okay, so what will happen is Now the teacher can go in, take a look at how the students did as a whole class, how they did individually, and according to that, she will make decisions on what types of instruction she will need to give her students and at what level this instruction will be. Thank you. Let's go back into building a new test because I want to show you a couple options that I think you will appreciate. When you click on Build a New Test, and let's just go ahead and do a test for grade 5, chapter 5. You would give it a description. Choose grade 5, 2004-2008 skills. And now instead of letting the system choose the questions, I choose the questions myself. This is really important because you know your students and your curriculum and your specific learning objectives that are in that pacing guide. So this can be really valuable in having that selection option. Click on Next. I will click Chapter 5. Click on Next. And we're particularly going to assess 5.2 and 5.3, bar graphs and line graphs. Click Next. And now what you'll notice is in this next screen, it will bring up the questions. So this is item 1. I can either select this item to be on the test or reject it. So let's say I don't want this item. I can say click on item 1 and reject that item. Now there's an X by it. I look at question 2, I select that item. Okay, question 3, perfect, I want that one selected. Item 4, now notice that below the item it identifies what lesson it goes along with. I'm going to reject that item. Select item 5, reject item 6, and select item 7. Okay, you want to make sure that the questions you choose are truly assessing the skills that you want to know your students either know or don't know, so that this is a formative assessment guiding your instruction and where you go next. So we'll click on Finish and Preview. It's building the test. Okay. And once again here you can see the completed test. I can click on Assign, just as I did before, and assign it to specific kids. I'd like to point out one additional key concept that you need to be aware of when creating these tests. When you are assigning the tests, as you remember before, I just went ahead and selected all 3 of those students in my 4th grade class. We recommend that you get rid of the check mark, Include Remediation. That will allow you to have more control over which tests the students will be moving into. If that check mark is there, what will happen is if a student does poorly on a specific test that they do within SuccessNet, it will not let them move on to the next assignment that you may want them to be completing. So we recommend getting rid of that check mark. Unless you truly are using the remediation aspect of this program. Thank you.